So this last lesson, this lesson number 12, is going to talk about the things to come, which is an appropriate ending for the lesson. And we've looked around this area of the world, and what the Old and the New Testament speak about in the future, in sort of the age to come, is still Jerusalem, the city of God. And we'll take a look at all of this in just a few moments. But first of all, from last week, we looked at some of the prophecies, especially in the book of Revelation, that spoke about things that would happen in the last days before Jesus Christ would come back. So I'll give you and I'll give Andres a little bit of a challenge. I'd like to show a video clip that is in English. And so if you don't mind interpreting as much as possible, it may go too fast. Oh, push. This is about what the Bible calls this mark of the beast, which in centuries ago was not really something that seemed very possible, but today it's very possible. Okay, so here it is, and it just sounds like normal, interesting technology.
Forget wearable technology. Swedish office worker Lynn Kowalaska is having it implanted under her skin.
Here, I'll pause it.
A microchip.
Yeah. Oops.
Sweden. In Sweden.
In Sweden, yeah. Just across the water.
Implanted under her skin. A microchip about the size of a grain of rice is injected into her hand.
It felt pretty scary, but at the same time it felt very modern, very 2015.
Instead of ID cards or passcodes, workers who sign up for the implant can now open doors with the wave of a hand. The chip also currently lets workers swap contact details via a smartphone and operate a photocopier. Patrick Mesterton, co-founder of the Epicenter Tech Hub in central Stockholm, sees plenty of future applications for the implant.
Like anything we need today would use a PIN code or a key or a card. So payments is I think one area. I think also for healthcare reasons, that you can sort of communicate with your doctor and you can get data on what you eat and sort of what your physical status is.
The radio frequency identification chip is made from Pyrex glass and contains an antenna and microchip with no need for batteries. While some workers may feel uneasy at the prospect of literally taking their work home with them, the designers say the chip is completely safe and secure.
You have your own identification code and you're sending that to something else which you have to grant access to. So there's no one else that can sort of follow you on your ID, so to say. It's you who decide who gets access to that ID.
The chip is in no way mandatory, and the limited benefits the implant currently offers may put many people off. But with wearable tech becoming more ubiquitous, the merging of biology and technology could represent a growing trend.
Ja kuigi paljud on sellele vastu, siis ometigi tehnoloogia arenedes võib see saada väga populaarseks.
So this was just from Reuters News this summer.
See on selle suve uudistest Reutersi.
And it's just fascinating that we live in the age where all of this kind of thing is possible.
Ja on huvitav, et me elame sellisel ajal, kui need asjad on võimalikud.
Now, let's take a look, and just a look.
Ja nüüd vaatame ainult.
What happens after Jesus Christ comes?
Mis juhtub siis,
Now,
peale seda, kui Jeesus
the Bible doesn't say a tremendous amount about this.
Piibel ei räägi väga palju sellest.
And many people have many ideas.
Ja mitmetel inimestel on omad mõtted selles osas.
But there are several places in the Bible that speak about a new heaven and a new earth.
Aga Piiblis on mitmeid kohti, kus räägitakse uuest taevast ja uuest maast.
And so let's take a look together.
Ja vaatame koos.
And this is the final the kingdom age.
Ja see on siis kuningriigi aeg.
Final time period that we're studying.
Ja viimane ajaperiood, mida me õpime.
And let's just take a look here.
Ja vaatleme siin.
The most important thing
Kõige olulisem
is that Satan is bound.
On see, et saatan aheldatakse
And let's just take a quick look at the last book of the New Testament, Revelation, chapter 20.
Vaatame kiiresti ilmutuse raamatu 20. peatüki, mis on siis.
So in your notes, Revelation chapter 20 and verse 1 through 3.
Salmidest 1 kuni 3.
Go right ahead.
Ma nägin taevast alla tulevat ingli, kellel oli sügaviku võti ja suured ahelad käes. Ja ta võttis kinni lohe selle muistse maa, kes on kurat ja saatan, ning aheldas ta 1000 aastaks ning viskas ta sügavikku ja sulges ta luku taha ning pani pead pitseriga kinni, et ta enam ei eksitaks rahvaid, kuni need 1000 aastat saavad täis. Pärast seda peab ta natukeseks ajaks lahti lastama.
So this is sort of fulfilling ultimately
see siis kokkuvõttes täitub või täidab
this prophecy from the very beginning in the first part of the first book of the Old Testament.
Vana testamendi profeteeringu päris algusest saati,
where the word that God gave to the serpent and to the woman
kus Jumal andis sõna maale ja naisele,
was that the seed of the woman would crush the seed of the serpent under his heel.
Et naise seeme hävitab selle maa pea.
In the sense of victory.
Võidu mõttes.
So this is everything coming full circle back to the starting point.
Siis kokkuvõttes tuleb kõik ringiga tagasi algusesse.
In the beginning
alguses
was no sin.
Ei olnud pattu.
There was innocence.
Oli süütus.
And there was a paradise.
Ja oli paradiis.
And so the first thing that happens is Satan is bound.
Ja esimene asi, mis siis juhtub, kui saatan on aheldatud.
But he's not bound forever yet.
Aga ta ei ole veel igavesti
he's bound for 1,000 years.
Vaid ta on aheldatud 1000 aastaks.
And so people will speak of this as the millennium.
Ja rahvad räägivad sellest kui milleeniumist.
The 1,000 years of peace, basically.
1000 aastast rahust.
And the next thing is that Eden is recreated.
Järgmiseks on, et Eden taastatakse.
And there are places in your notes with references that speak about this in Zechariah and Isaiah.
Ja on ka mõned viited kirjakohtadega, kus räägitakse sellest Sakaaria raamatus ning Jesaja.
And can you imagine a world where there is no fighting?
Ja suudad ette kujutada maailma, kus ei ole võitlemist.
No crime.
Kuritegevust.
That sounds pretty good.
See kõlab päris hästi.
And that's the point. If Satan is bound, then all of these things cease.
Ja see on siis see, kui saatan saab seotud, aheldatud, need asjad lõppevad.
And then the third thing is there's some indication that the animals' natures may be changed.
On indikatsioon, et ka loomade iseloom muutub.
Isaiah, for example, speaks about the lion and the lamb laying down together.
Jesaja kirjas on räägitud sellest, kuidas lõvi ning talv lamavad koos.
And we don't really understand fully. It's just a glimpse.
Me ei mõista seda täielikult, see on kõigest väikene vihje meile.
And then the next thing that we see is that health is restored.
Järgmiseks on see, et tervis taastatakse.
And as a kind of a byproduct of this, also human life is extended.
Ja selle tulemusel ka inimese elu pikeneb.
And also there is one language.
Samuti, et on üks keel.
So in the beginning there was one language.
Alguses oli üks keel.
Adam and Eve spoke to each other.
Adam ja Eva rääkisid omavahel.
But it was several generations later when the Tower of Babel, if you remember.
Aga mitmeid põlvkondi hiljem, kui püstitati Paabeli torn.
So here I am speaking with my friend Andres.
Ja siin ma olen rääkides oma sõbra Andrese.
Because of languages.
Keelte tõttu.
And I'm a little bit slow.
Ja olen natukene aeglane.
But one day,
Aga ühel päeval,
the Bible speaks about a new heaven, a new earth, and things are restored.
Piibel räägib uuest taevast ning uuest maast.
And one of the nice things is there's one language.
Ja üks toredaid asju on see, et on üks keel.
Maybe it will be Estonian.
Võib-olla on eesti keel.
Maybe it will be whatever Adam and Eve spoke in the beginning.
Ja võib-olla on see keel, mis iganes keel oli see keel, mida Adam ja Eeva rääkis.
There will be one religion.
On üks religioon.
If there's one true God,
Kui on üks tõeline Jumal,
and everyone realizes,
ja kõik seda mõistavad,
then there's only one religion.
siis on ka ainult üks religioon.
There will be peace and justice.
On rahu ja õiglus.
Now, in the United Nations, maybe even in their charter, I don't exactly remember if it's on a monument or in the actual charter of the United Nations.
Kas siis ÜRO monumendil või siis nende loosungil.
There is a scripture quotation from the Old Testament.
On üks tsiteering Vanast Testamendist.
It speaks about how the swords will be beaten into plowshares.
Ja seal räägitakse või öeldakse, kuidas mõõkadest tehakse adra need samused hõlmad.
Yeah, and the spears will be bent into pruning hooks.
Ja odadest tehakse.
So pruning hooks to cut the branches or cut fruit down from trees.
Tehakse siis mingisugused tööriistad.
And people will not study war anymore.
Ja inimesed ei õpi enam sõda pidama.
So this is a different situation altogether.
Teistsugune olukord kokkuvõttes.
And this is what humanity has been striving for.
Ja see on see, mille poole inimkond on püüelnud väga pikka aega.
But with this one problem, this has always been elusive.
Ja see üks probleem, mis on alati olnud selline eemale võitlev.
But in a restored earth,
aga taastatud maal,
with no sin,
kus enam pattu ei ole,
then there is this wonderful peace and justice.
On siis see imeline rahu ning õiglus.
This is just what the Bible talks about in several places.
See on miski, millest Piibel räägib meile mitmes kohas.
And as I said in the beginning today,
ja nagu ma ütlesin täna alguses,
Jerusalem becomes the head city.
Jeruusalemmast saab pealinn.
And you can just sort of paraphrase, but it says in Isaiah chapter 2,
aga Jesaja teises peatükis on kirjas.
And many people will go and say, "Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord."
Ja paljud tulevad ning ütlevad, lähme Issanda mäele.
To the house of the God of Jacob.
Jaakobi Jumala kotta.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
Ja ta õpetab meile oma teid ning me kõnnime tema teedel.
For out of Zion will go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Sest Sionist lähtub seadus ja Jeruusalemmast Issanda sõna.
And if you remember, there is this massive war in the end of the last lesson we spoke about.
Ja võib-olla on meeles, et eelmise õppetüki lõpul me rääkisime sellest suurest sõjast.
But the prophets speak about those who survive the war.
Aga prohvetid räägivad nendest, kes selle sõja üle elavad.
Coming year by year to Jerusalem.
Kes aasta järgi tulevad Jeruusalemma.
To honor the Lord God.
Et anda au Issandale Jumalale.
So a lot of things are very different.
Mitmed asjad on väga erinevad.
But following the same pattern from throughout.
Aga järgides seda sama mustrit läbi.
And then if we look at the reigning in the kingdom age.
Ja siis kui me vaatame seda valitsust kuningriigi ajal.
The first thing is that we shall be like him, the writer says.
Esimene asi, mida siis on kirja pandud, on see, et me oleme tema sarnased.
Glorified and immortal.
kigastatud ja surematu.
These are just artists' ideas, but let's take a look at the text.
Kunstniku ettekujutused sellest, aga vaatame siis kirjakohti.
Philippians chapter 3,
Philippi kiri 4. peatükk.
verse 21.
Ja salm 21.
It just speaks about after the resurrection.
Ja seal räägitakse seda aega, mis on peale ülestõusmist.
That God would change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto His glorious body.
Et Jumal siis muudab selle ihu auliseks ihuks.
Yeah. Did that make sense? Chapter 3, verse 21. Yeah, go ahead and read it. Yeah.
Kes meie aranduse ihu muudab oma kirkuse ihu sarnaseks selle väe toimel, millega ta suudab ka alistada enesele kõik.
And then in 1 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul writes about a mortal body.
Ja esimese Korintuse kirjas apostel Paulus kirjutab surelikust ihust.
And a spiritual body.
Ning vaimulikust ihust.
And of course, when Jesus was with his disciples,
kui Jeesus oli koos oma jüngritega,
he went up to the mountain and was transfigured before them.
Ning sai muudetud mäel.
And the text says that his face shone like light.
Ja kirjas on, et ta nägu, ta pale oli nagu valgus.
And his apparel became white as the light.
Ja ka tema kuu muutus valgeks nagu valgus. Matteuse 17. peatükis.
So there's something different happening.
Ja toimub midagi muud, midagi uut.
And in 1 Corinthians chapter 15,
esimese Korintuse 15. peatükis,
Paul writes again about how this corruption will put on incorruption.
Paulus kirjutab selle kohta, kuidas see
just paraphrase it. This
korrupeerunud ihu
this body that will die will put on eternal life.
Riietab ennast surematu ihuga.
And what will it be like?
Ning mis siis saab olema?
Well, the writers say we will be like him in some way.
Ja siis on kirjas, et me oleme sarnased temaga.
And then the New Testament and the Old Testament speak about roles and responsibilities.
Ja Uues Testamendis on kirjas ka siis rollidest ning vastutustest.
So positions of authority.
Erinevad võimutasandid ja ametid.
We don't really understand what this means.
Me ei tea, mida see kõik tähendab.
Some groups would take this to extremes and speak about people becoming like little gods, and this is not what the Bible teaches.
Osa võtavad seda väga ekstreemselt ja räägivad, et inimesed muutuvad nagu väikesteks jumalateks, aga see ei ole see, millest Piibel räägib.
But the Apostle Paul did say in 1 Corinthians chapter 6,
aga apostel Paulus ütles esimese Korintuse 6. peatükis,
in the context of what he was speaking about,
selles kontekstis, millest ta rääkis,
he says, why can't you judge the smallest things in life?
Et miks te ei või mõista puhut väikeste asjade üle elus.
And then he says these words, do you not know that we shall judge angels?
Ja siis ta ütleb need sõnad, et kas te ei tea, et me mõistame puhut ka inglite üle.
So, we don't really know what this all means, but that is in the Bible.
Mida see tähendab, aga Piiblis on see kirjas.
And what it is it's a glimpse.
Mis see on? See on
a little
glimpse. Väikse maitse, väikse vihje meile.
Looking in on what is spoken about.
Vaadates sellele, millest räägitakse.
And then as we go along,
ja kui me edasi läheme,
we see a presentation from Zechariah.
Siis on see presentatsioon Zakaria poolt.
And maybe you could just go ahead and read this from the screen if you don't mind.
Ja kõik järele jäänud kõigist paganaist, kes on tulnud Jeruusalemma kallale, peavad aasta-aastalt minema sinna üles, kummardama kuningat, vägede issandat ja pidama lehtmajade püha.
Okay, so this is the picture that we're given here.
Ja see on pilt, mis on meile antud.
And it's fascinating.
Ja see on hämmastav.
So this is what I spoke about. And
ja see on see, millest ma rääkisin.
Finally,
ja viimaseks,
after 1,000 years is finished,
kui need 1000 aastat läbi saavad,
Satan is released again.
siis saatan vabastatakse uuesti.
And he's been planning his next plan for 1,000 years.
Ning ta on plaaninud oma järgmist plaani 1000 aastat.
Now, there hasn't been sin in the earth. At least there's not been temptation.
Pattu olnud, ei ole kiusatust olnud.
But there's some indication that people that are not part of the church,
Ja on teatud vihjed, et kui on inimesi, kes ei ole osa kirikust,
that survive these days of trouble and the battle of Armageddon,
kes jäävad ellu Armageddoni lahingust ning nendest hädade ja viletsuste päevadest,
they still have a nature that is weak.
siis neil on endiselt loomus, mis on
They haven't been changed,
ja nad ei ole muudetud,
like Paul speaks about.
nii nagu Paulus räägib.
And so Satan right away goes to work.
Ja saatan hakkab tegutsema koheselt.
And apparently he's successful.
Ja ta on ka edukas oma tegemistes.
Because in the 20th chapter of Revelation,
Sest ilmutuse 20. peatükis
it speaks about armies of Gog and Magog coming against Jerusalem and against God.
Googi ja Magoogi armeedest, vägedest, mis tulevad Jeruusalemma ja Jumala vastu.
It's really Satan's final rebellion.
Ja see on saatana viimane mäss
working through people.
läbi inimeste.
But well, let's just go ahead and take a quick look there in Revelation chapter number 20.
Ilmutuse 20. peatükis seda.
We don't have to read the whole thing, but it begins at verse 7.
Aga see, me ei pea seda kõike lugema, aga see algab 7. salmist.
Ends at verse number 10.
Ning lõpeb 10. salmis.
And let's just take a quick look.
Ja vaatame neid kiirelt.
Let's read verses 9 through 10.
Ja loeme salmid 9 ja 10. Ja nad tulevad üles ilmamaa lagendikule ja piiravad ümber pühade leeri ja armastatud linna. Ja taevast langeb tuli ning sööb nad ära. Ja kurat nende eksitaja lisatakse tule ja väevjärve, kus on ka metsaline ja valeprohvet ning neid piinatakse päevad ja ööd igavesest ajast igavesti.
So this is the final victory over Satan.
Ja see on lõplik võit saatan üle.
And this time it's not just the people of God or the people of Israel that are in the city, but God himself.
Sel ajal, sel olukorral enam ei ole lihtsalt Jumala rahvas või siis Iisraeli rahvas Jeruusalemmas, vaid Jumal ise.
And perhaps it's the shortest battle in the history of warfare.
Ja võib-olla see lahing on aegade kõige lühikesem lahing.
As the text said, fire comes down from heaven.
Nagu kirjas oli, et taevast langeb tuli.
And that's the end.
Ja see lõpetab.
And Satan is bound and cast into the place of fire, the lake of fire.
Ja saatan saab seotud, aheldatud ning ta lisatakse tulejärve.
Which brings us to the more uncomfortable teaching of prophecy and of revelation.
Mis toob meid natuke ebameeldivama osa juurde ilmutusest.
But Jesus speaks a lot about this.
Aga Jeesus räägib sellest väga
and
palju.
Other writers write a lot about it as well.
Ja ka teised piibli raamatute autorid.
From the beginning, there's always been this choice.
Alates algusest on alati olnud see valik.
And there's always been reward or punishment.
Ja on alati olnud kas tasu või siis karistus.
And we spoke weeks ago about Noah in his day.
Ja me rääkisime nädalad tagasi Noa ja tema päevil sündmustest.
How God waited for the lifetime of the man who lived the longest in the Bible.
Kuidas Jumal ootas, et saaks läbi elu, selle inimese elu, kes on kõige pikema elujaga olnud.
And he lived nearly 1,000 years.
Ta elas peaaegu 1000 aastat.
And finally judgment came.
Ja siis tuli kohtumõistmine.
Remember his name Methuselah meant when he dies it shall come.
Tema nimi Methuselah, mis tõlkes tähendab, et siis see tuleb.
And then with the kingdom of Israel,
ja Iisraeli kuningriigis
God sent prophets
Jumal saatis prohveteid
again and again,
uuesti ja
and still the
uuesti.
people went the wrong direction.
Ja ikkagi inimesed läksid vales suunas.
Many of them served God.
Paljud neist teenisid Jumalat.
Many of them did not.
Aga paljud ei
And
teeninud.
finally the judgment came.
Ja siis tuli kohtumõistmine.
But in our period
Aga meie aja
of the New Testament,
Uues Testamendis
almost 2,000 years have passed and still no judgment.
peaaegu 2000 aastat möödunud ja ei ole ikkagi saabunud kohtumõistmist.
Jesus talked about the judgment to come.
Aga Jeesus rääkis kohtumõistmisest, mis tuleb.
Saying that when Jesus comes again,
Öeldes, et kui Jeesus naaseb,
he may not come for many years, but when he comes, it will be sudden.
Et ta võib-olla ei tule mitmeid aastaid, aga kui ta tuleb, siis see sündmus on järsku.
And so the New Testament speaks about a white throne judgment.
Ja Uues Testamendis räägitakse valge trooni kohtumõistmisest.
And in Revelation it says that whoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Ja ilmutuse raamatus on kirjas, keda iganes ei leitud olevat eluraamatusse kirjutatud, lisati tulejärve.
Which, by the way, was created for Satan
Mis tegelikult oli loodud
and his fallen
saatana
angels.
ning tema langenud inglite
But there's a place in the Bible that says hell has enlarged herself.
Aga Piiblis on üks kirjakoht, mis räägib sellest, et põrgu on ennast suurendanud.
And there is this moment when the books are open and the accounts are settled.
Ja on see hetk, kui avatakse raamatud ning need asjad pannakse paika.
And what are people judged by?
Ja mille järgi inimesi siis, mille järgi nende üle kohut mõistetakse?
They're judged by the Word of God first and foremost.
Ja selleks on esmalt Jumala sõna.
They're judged by their thoughts.
Neile mõistetakse kohut ka nende mõtete osas.
And here are these references there in your notes, I believe.
Ja seal on erinevad kirjakohad ja viited nende kirjakohtadele.
Judged by their words.
Ja nende sõnade järgi.
By their works or actions.
Või tööde järgi.
And by the gospel.
Ja ka evangeeliumi.
And finally by the book of life.
Ja viimaks ka eluraamatu järgi.
And this is what is referred to as the second death.
Ja see on siis see, millal mõeldakse teist surma.
Both by the book of Revelation.
Samuti ilmutuse raamatus.
As well as Jesus in the book of Mark.
Kui ka Jeesuse sõnades Markuse evangeeliumis.
And also this small letter to Jude.
Ning
in the end of the New Testament.
Uue Testamendi lõpus olevas väikses kirjas, Juuda kirjas.
In Revelation chapter 20 verse 11 through 12.
Ilmutuse 20. peatükis salmidest 11 kuni 12.
It says, and I saw a great white throne.
On kirjas, ja ma nägin suurt valget trooni.
And him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and heaven fled away.
Ning teda, kes istus sellel troonil, kelle ees maa taandus.
And there was found no place for them.
Ja ei leitud kohta selle jaoks.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God.
Ja ma nägin suuri ning väikseid seismas Jumala ees.
And the books were open.
Ja raamatud avati.
And another book was open, which is the book of life.
Ja avati ka teine raamat, mis on eluraamat.
And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works.
Ja surnud üle mõisteti kohut vastavalt sellele, kuidas oli raamatutesse kirjutatud.
And Jesus said, the Father doesn't judge any man. He's given this authority to the Son.
Jeesus on öelnud, et isa ei mõista kohut kellegi üle, vaid ta on andnud meelevalla pojale selleks.
And because Jesus lived as a man,
ja kuna Jeesus elas kui inimene,
God in flesh,
Jumal lihas,
number one, he could pay the price for sin.
Siis esiteks ta sai maksta pattude eest.
But also he could legally judge the world.
Aga samuti ta saab ka õiglaselt kohut mõista maailma üle.
Of course, God could judge the world and has.
Muidugi Jumal saab kohut mõista maailma üle ja on seda teinud.
But Jesus said the Father gave this authority to the Son.
Aga Jeesus ütles, et isa andis selle meelevalla pojale.
So this one that sits on the throne
Niisiis tema, kes istub troonil,
judges people by these criteria.
Mõistab rahva üle kohut nendele asjadele vastavalt.
And there's more that can be said about it because there's quite a bit written about it.
Ja on võimalik väga pikalt sellel teemal rääkides, et on üsna palju selle kohta kirja pandud.
But let me just let me just remind of one of the things that I mentioned in another lesson.
Aga las ma tuletan meelde ühte asja, mida ma ennem teises õppetükis olen maininud.
Jesus spoke to Nicodemus in John about being born again.
Jeesus rääkis Nikodeemusega Johannese evangeeliumis uuesti sündimisest.
So basically, if someone is born twice,
Et põhimõtteliselt kui keegi sünnib 2 korda,
born of their mother and born of the Spirit,
sünnib siis
water and the Spirit,
oma emast ja samuti sünnib ka vaimust,
then that person would die just one time,
siis see inimene sureb ainult 1 kord.
natural death.
Loomuliku surma.
But if a person was born just once and not born again,
inimene on sündinud ainult 1 kord ja ei ole uuesti sündinud,
then there was not just the natural but the second death or the spiritual
siis
death.
selle tõttu kaasneb ka vaimulik surm, et ja lisaks siis loomulikule surmale.
It's uncomfortable to speak about, but it's a part of the teaching of the Scripture.
Ja sellest ei ole eriti mugav rääkida, aga see on osa sellest, mida Piibel räägib.
But what a lot of people want to think more about
Millest paljud tahavad rohkem mõelda küll,
is the New Jerusalem.
on uus Jeruusalemm.
And John had this vision
Ja Johannesel oli see
in
nägemus
the book of Revelation
ilmutuse raamatus
of a new Jerusalem,
uuest Jeruusalemmast,
a new heaven and a new earth.
uuest taevast ja uuest maast.
It says in Revelation that he saw the New Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven.
Ja ilmutuse raamatus on kirjas, et ta nägi uut Jeruusalemma taevast tulevat alla.
And a portion of John's revelation was about God's judgments.
Ja osa sellest ilmutusest oli Jumala kohtumõistmiste üle.
But another portion of his revelation was about God's very lavish blessing.
Aga teine osa oli seoses Jumala suurte õnnistuste.
This prize, this reward.
Selle siis autasu või siis
for what? For faithfulness
eest
and obedience.
Ustavuse eest.
And so he gives the dimensions of the city. It's an interesting thing to read.
Ja Johannes siis kirjeldab seda linna, andes selle linna mõõtmed.
He speaks about the throne.
Räägib troonist.
And one sitting on the throne.
Ja sellest, kes troonil istub.
In Revelation chapter 21.
Ilmutuse 21. peatükis.
And into chapter 22 as well.
Ja samuti ka 22. peatükis.
And here are some of the things in heaven.
Ja siin on nüüd paar asja, mis siis taevas on.
Life in heaven includes joy and blessing.
Elu taevas kätkeb endas rõõmu ja õnnelikkust.
It's a restoration.
See on taastamine.
And everything that could have been in paradise with Adam and Eve.
Paradiisis Aadama ja Eeval.
And it's also
ning samuti
at the same time
samaaegselt
a continual fellowship
jätkuv osadus
with God.
Jumalaga.
This is what was broken in the beginning. Is this the right text in Estonian here? Yeah. This is what was broken in the Garden of Eden because of sin. And then there is peaceful rest. The book of Revelation speaks about how God would wipe away all the tears from people's eyes. People would cease from their labors. And on a Friday evening after work, you may like the sound of that today. There would be complete knowledge. Paul said, we will know even as we are known. There will be purity and holiness. And there would be abundance. No one would lack. There will be divine glory. And continual worship. And let's just take a look at this one reference in Revelation chapter 7. And again, we don't have to read the whole thing, but let's take a look at verse 9.
me ei pea kõike lugema, aga vaatame salmist 9. Pärast seda ma nägin, et näe suur rahvahulk, keda ükski ei suutnud loendada, kõigist paganahõimudest ja suguharudest ja rahvaist ja keeltest seisis trooni ees ning talle ees.
Let's go ahead and read verse 10 and then skip to verse 12.
Ja loeme salmist 10 ning jätame lugemata salm 11.
Jah.
Nad hüüdsid suure häälega, pääste on meie Jumalal, kes istub troonil ja tal.
Then verse 12 saying,
ja salmis 12 hüüdes aamen, õnnistus ja kirkus ja tarkus ja tänu ja au ja vägi ja võim olgu meie Jumalale igavesest ajast igavesti.
Amen. And it speaks about a fountain of the water of life.
Ja seal räägitakse elu jõest või siis eluvee jõest.
And in the first book of Moses,
esimese Moosese raamatus,
in the Garden of Eden, it spoke about the tree of life.
räägiti Eedeni aias olevast elupuust.
In John's vision, he sees the tree of life.
Ja Johannese nägemuses ta näeb elupuud.
It gives fruit in all the seasons.
Mis annab oma vilja kõigil aastaaegadel.
Its leaves are for the healing of the nations.
Ning mille lehtedest tuleb tervis rahvastele.
And this was lost in Eden.
Ja see oli see, mis läks kaduma Edenis.
And in a sense, you can look at the entire Bible from the first book of Moses to the revelation of Jesus.
Ja teatud mõttes võib vaadata tervet Piiblit esimese Moosese raamatust kuni ilmutuseni.
As life between two trees.
Kui elust kahe puu vahel.
Here was the tree of life, but also the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Siin oli elupuu ning samuti ka hea ja kurja tundmise puu.
And again, the tree of life
ja jällegi
restored.
On elupuu taastatud.
And everything in between is the story of coming back.
Ja kõik see, mis seal vahel on, siis see lugu sellest, kuidas selle juurde naastakse.
And the glory of Jesus shines out.
Ja Jeesuse au või kirkus, mis paistab.
John said there was no need of the sun or of light.
Ja Johannes on öelnud ilmutuses, et ei olnud vajadust päikse või kuu järgi.
He says the lamb was the light.
Tal ise annab valguse.
And of course the lamb is speaking of Jesus Christ.
Ja talle puhul räägitakse Jeesusest Kristusest.
So this is the glory even visibly of God.
Ja see on siis au, mis on isegi nähtav Jumala juures.
And so really this whole study of the Bible brings us down to the big questions of life.
Ja see kõik, mida me oleme õppinud, toob meid elu suurte küsimuste juurde.
What am I here for?
Milleks mina siin olen?
Is there really life after this life?
Ja kas tõesti on elu pärast praegust?
What is the purpose and meaning of it all?
Mis on selle kõige eesmärk ning mõte?
And the Bible gives all of these answers.
Ja Piibel annab kõik need vastused.
And throughout all of the millennia,
ja läbi kogu milleeniumi,
it's provided a roadmap for people that trust God.
On see andnud juhtnööre inimestele, kes usaldavad Jumalat.
And one artist drew a picture, painted a picture that kind of sums it all up.
Ja üks kunstnik on joonistanud foto, mis selle kõik ilusasti kokku võtab.
He made this picture that gives the idea of from here to eternity.
Mis annab mõtte sellest, mis on aeg praegusest igavikku.
All of the troubles and sin and wickedness in the world.
Kõik need patud ja hädad ja ahistused maailmas.
Here it says Broadway that Jesus spoke about.
Ja
the street is wide that leads to destruction.
Lai tee, ja seal on kirjas lai tee pildi. Ja see on see, millest Jeesus rääkis, et lai on tee, mis viib hukatusse.
And Jesus said sorrowfully, many go that way.
Ja Jeesus ütles kurvalt, et paljud lähevad selle tee peale.
But then he said straight is the way.
Aga siis ta ütles, et ahtake on tee,
that leads to life everlasting.
Mis viib igavesse ellu.
And really the cross of Jesus
ja Jeesuse rist
provides the bridge away from destruction.
Annab selle silla, mis viib eemale hävingust.
Not just to a better life, but to heaven itself.
Mitte ainult paremasse elusse, vaid taevasse.
So let's just take a look at this final reference, Matthew chapter 7.
Ja vaatame seda viimast kirja kohta Matteuse 7. peatükk.
Verses 13 and 14.
Salmid 13 ja 14.
And it says, enter you into the straight gate. Jesus is speaking.
Ja Jeesus räägib, minge sisse kitsast väravast.
For wide is the great gate,
Sest lai on värav
broad is the way that leads to destruction,
ja avar on tee, mis viib
and many
hukatusse.
there are which go in.
Ja palju on neid, kes astuvad sealt.
Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leads unto life,
Kitsas on värav ja ahtake on tee, mis viib ellu.
and few there be that find it.
Ja pisut on neid, kes selle leiavad.
And this cross of Jesus Christ represents the good news.
Ja Jeesuse rist selle pildil esindab häid uusi head sõnumit
And the right way.
ja õiget teed.
And this is what the New Testament teaches.
Ja see on see, mida õpetab ka Uus Testament.
The Old Testament lays the foundation.
Vana Testament seab alusmüüri,
The New Testament builds on the foundation.
aga Uus Testament ehitab alusmüüri
And
peale.
Jesus said that He is the foundation, the cornerstone.
Ja Jeesus ütles, et tema on nurgakiviks alusmüürile.
And people are building their lives on that foundation
Ja inimesed ehitavad oma elud üles selle alusmüüri
through faithfulness and
läbi
obedience to the Word of
ustavuse
God.
ja kuulekuse Jumala sõnale.
So this is the presentation of a quick, 12 lesson view of the Bible.
Ja siin on siis ette kantud kiiresti need 12 õppetükki.
I hope it's been interesting for you.
Ja ma loodan, et see on olnud huvitav.
Maybe it's brought up more questions than answers.
Võib-olla sellega on kaasnenud rohkem küsimusi kui vastuseid.
I hope that it's made you think about more things than you were thinking about before we
Ma
began.
loodan, et see on aidanud mõelda rohkem nende asjade peale kui varem.
And really there's so much more that can be said and can be studied and can be
Ja
read.
tegelikult on niivõrd palju rohkem, mida võib veel õppida ja lugeda ja tundma õppida.
But really the best way to learn more is to simply read.
Ja parim viis, kuidas teada saada, on lihtsalt lugeda.
So in the interest of biblical literacy,
Ja piibliku kirjanduse huvides
I would like to present Bibles to you
ma tahaksin
as a gift.
kinkida teile kingituse
And
piibli.
thanks for your attendance.
Ja tänan, et olete käinud kohal.
And this is not the end.
Ja see ei ole
And oops, I didn't take off the price tag, so let me just take it off. Don't look.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, all of you, for coming. It's part of this. And if you change your mind, there is a Bible, and we can put your name on it.
Ja kui sa meelt muudad, siis seal on veel üks piibel, et
But I'm glad that you have a good Bible, and if you want to give it to a friend, I did get it for you.
Ja kui sa ka tahad selle mõnele tuttavale anda, siis ometigi ma andsin selle sinu jaoks.
And we have time for questions, but let me just announce
Ja meil on aega küsimuste jaoks, aga ma annaksin ühe teada anda.
next week,
Järgmisel nädalal,
if you would like,
kui sa soovid,
we can continue with a new lesson, a new study.
siis me võime alustada uut õppetükki.
And it's up to you. So we can have a little democratic process here.
Ja see sõltub sinust, et me võime siin otsustada demokraatlikul viisil.
And there's no wrong answer, so please don't be embarrassed to express how you would like.
Ja ei ole ühtegi valet vastust, nii et väljenda ennast
But
avameelselt.
would you like to continue studying the Bible and just having a time of
Kas sa
the
sooviksid
Bible?
jätkuvalt piiblit õppida, et oleks mingi piibliõpe käimas?
If so,
Kui see nii on,
I have several different studies that I really like.
siis mul on mitmeid erinevaid piiblikursuseid.
Some of them are just focused on the text of the Old and New Testament.
Mulle meeldivad, osa neist keskenduvad Vana ja Uue Testamendi tekstidele.
Some of them are more practical.
Osa praktiliste asjade üle elus.
I actually just picked up some videos that have Estonian subtitles.
Ja alles hiljuti ma leidsin mõned videod, kus on eestikeelsed subtiitrid.
That answer a lot of questions about evolution and the Bible.
Mis vastab väga paljudele küsimustele seoses evolutsiooni ning
It's very interesting, very good. I've looked at
väga hea materjal.
I've looked at most of it, I believe.
Enamuse sellest ma usun.
And then I also have another study.
Ja siis on veel üks õpe.
That simply talks about Christian living.
Mis räägib kristlikust elust.
And I have several other studies I can.
Ja on ka mitmeid teisi veel.
So, would you be interested in coming back next week or
huvitaks järgmisel reedel jälle tulla
in the future?
Või tulevikus?
Huvitab küll, mina, Vilja, võib-olla leian veel kellegi.
Yeah. And I understand you can't come every Friday, and I don't mean to take people's Fridays. So I'm completely open to suggestions for a different day if you prefer. And I will say also that if you have friends that would be interested in this course that we just finished, I hope to teach it again even before this year is finished. So you can let them know or tell me how and we'll do it again. But what do you think? Is Friday a good day? Or would you prefer a different day? Friday's okay? It's okay. What do you think though? Is it better a different day? It's okay. Okay. If you have thoughts, please share them with me. I'm very much interested in your
kui oleks koolilektor, siis võib maha.
I would probably fall asleep too. And Andres would have to But yeah. So it's good if you're going to talk about something that's worth talking about, then let it be interesting. Now, I also have something else for you that might be interesting. Actually, and this is for you. This is not for you to give to me or anyone else. But this is just a sort of a practical look at the study of the Bible and how it relates to us as individuals. So if it's just a dusty text, that's one thing. If it's just literature. But if it is what it says it is, then these are some very personal questions that you should look at just yourself. And maybe measure your own personal spiritual life. So you can put that with the Bible and read it together. But with that today, we're finishing 5 minutes early. Enjoy your summer rainy weekend. And thank you so much for being a part of this Bible history course. Thank you to Andres, to Sander for their help, and all of you for coming. Well, thank you, but thank you to you.